Previously on Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. Yeah, there we go. And with that, the adventure continues. Welcome back everyone to Tomb Raider 4. I am Jonathan Wolf, and today we're going to be moving on to the next area of the game, which is the Temple of Karnak. So with that said, let's get started. So yes, in the last video, we finished the first area of the game, which is Valley of the Kings, and in this episode we're starting the second area, which is Temple of Karnak. And in this video, we're also going to be doing the other two levels of this first area, which is the Great Hypostyle Hall and the Sacred Lake. Okay, so here we go, where we crashed into the last video. And yeah, we gotta say that we're now outside, and this place looks really cool. I actually really like the outside places of this game. Also, I'm gonna turn off the volume on my headset. There we go. Okay, and the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at our inventory, because as you can see, we have 210 Uzi clips, and I have over 100 shotgun shells. And you know what? Starting from this video, okay, let me put it this way. So, as if you watched the other games, you may have seen that I was able to beat every single game, or the last 3 games, without using a med pack, which is something that I want to fulfill with this marathon. And hopefully future games like Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld, and other games. However, starting in this game, I want to do an extra challenge. So, and the challenge is starting from this level until the end of the game. I'm going to try to beat this entire game without using my pistols. So yes, besides doing the no medpack run, we're also going to do a no pistol run. So pistols are banned. I cannot use them, not for scorpions, not for vases, not for anything. I'm not allowed to use pistols. The only time I'm using pistols is if I'm in a cutscene. But other than that, pistols are not allowed. So let's go ahead and select our shotgun so we can actually prepare ourselves. And yeah, with that said, let's go into the Temple of Karnak. Also, let me increase a bit the sound effects, because they're a bit low. Alright, but now here we go, the Temple of Karnak. And I gotta say, this beginning area looks really awesome. Okay, so as we go into this first area, there's gonna be some scorpions, and you may notice that these scorpions are black. And that is because, yeah, these guys are not just, different because we're in a different part of Egypt. No, that is because these scorpions are now poisonous. So if their stingers get us, then yeah, we are gonna be poisoned for pretty much the entire way until we actually use a med pack. Because you may notice that when we beat a level, we get into a level transition where we fully healed up. However, actually, I don't know if it's the case with this game, but I do know that if you get poisoned and you go to a level transition, the poison will still be active, which means that, yeah, trying to beat it without using a med pack while being poisoned is practically impossible for this game. Okay, so here we have this obelisk, and this area is basically a junction area. So behind me is where we entered. And we got a path to the left, a path straight, and a path to the right. And for this part, we're actually going to go clockwise. So we went from below, or behind. Now we're going to go to the left. Because this area right here is completely optional. And I went the wrong way. But also, there are some items we can get. Okay, so first off, we're going to jump up here. And as you can see, there we have a small med pack. Which is awesome. And I should have done a running jump. There we go. And across here, we have some Uzi clips and some white shot shotgun shells. Alright, and once you get the white shot, you want to drop down because here we have an opening which is going to give us access to the first secret of the level. Alright, now before we continue, we have... Oh god. We have some scorpions. So we want to be careful. And in this secret, we also have some vases that we can break. And I think there's a... Yeah, there's one more scorpion. And there he went. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang right here. And then I'm going to select my white shot shotgun ammo so I can actually destroy these vases. And as you can see, I pretty much destroyed all of them, so that's awesome. And then we're going to destroy that one. And yeah, now we're going to get the items in these vases. So right here we got some white shot shotgun shells. We got some Uzi clips. We got some flares. And I want to say the other vase has a med pack. Let's find out. Yes, a large med pack. Awesome. Alright. And then there's one more vase we're going to break. Which contains some normal shotgun shells. Alright, so now let's switch back to the regular shots, or the regular ammo. And yeah, the reason why I wanted to do a no pistol run for this game is because, unlike the other two games, or unlike the last 3 games, they give you so many ammo in this game, to the point that if you use only your pistols, you can end up with like around 300 ammo with the shotgun, which is ridiculous. And yeah, also because, you know, people tend to rely a lot on the pistols, but not for me. I mean, I'm one of those people that likes to waste all of their ammo before they use the chainsaw in Doom Eternal. I mean, hey, you gotta save that chainsaw for the Mancubi, because the Mancubi are the deadly... I would say are the deadliest enemy in an Ultra Nightmare run. All the Ultra Nightmare attempts have finally paid off. Screw the ammo. Infinite ammo is overrated. Okay, so we cleared up that area. So now we're going to move on straight. Now, before we go on straight, there is this ledge over here that has some white shot shotgun shells. So let's grab them. And then let's go down the center path. Now, as soon as we get into this room, there is a door over here. And this door is actually the end of the level. Well, not the end of the level for real, but it's actually... But going through that door, we're actually going to go to the next area of the Temple of Karnak section. Okay, so you may notice Lara is looking up there. And that is because, well, that's the way to go. However, we're not going to go there yet. Instead, we're going to take a swim. Now, in the bottom here, there are some flares. And through this hallway, we have... I want to say a new gimmick. Yes, we have a new gimmick. So here we have this door, and you may think, okay, so I have to wait for it to... I have to wait to pull a switch, right? No, because these doors, by holding the action button... You can actually open them. Yeah? And yeah, this is actually a new feature in this game. And something that they didn't mention in the freaking tutorial. So, that's like, what, the second thing? Actually, no, that's the third thing. The third thing they didn't mention in the tutorial. So, the first thing was the ropes, or how to use the ropes. The second one was the shimmy alongside, the shimmy, around ledges or around corners, and now we got this. I'm probably gonna put a counter before. I'm probably gonna put a counter every time we talk about a tutorial. I'll probably put the "ya" sound clip from Von Croy. Okay, but we pull up in this little air pocket, and this is actually the second secret of the level. And in this secret, we got some Uzi clips, and we got some crossbow normal ammo, which is awesome. Alright, and then we're going to continue on right here. And to the right, there's a dead end, but to the left, there is an opening right here, which contains another secret. And this one has some crossbow ammo. However, this ammo is actually different, and we're going to see what I mean once we get out of the secret. But yeah, we got some crossbow bolts, some white shot, shotgun shells, Uzi clips, and a large med pack. Now, getting out of here can be very tricky because you basically have to swim through this little crack in the wall. And, you know, I make fun sometimes of PS Jank in this game. However, I will say right now that when it comes to the awfulness of the PS1 Jank, this game and, to an extent, Tomb Raider 5 are probably worse when it comes to the PS Jank because, especially in swimming sections, you can get stuck. Yeah, see right there. You can actually get stuck much easily in the geometry in this game. Which, you know, it's not good. Especially if you're playing the PC version, which, oh boy, we're gonna get into that version eventually when we get to the Times exclusive level. But yeah, down there in the water, it's completely optional, but you will get 2 secrets. So now let's go up here, and then we have these 2 gates. And to open these gates, we have these holes back here. So let's put our hands in the holes, or the hands in the respective holes, so we can open the doors. Now, the hole you really want to focus on is the one on the right, because that will give you access to a key item we need. And back here, we got some Uzi clips and some shotgun shells. Now, the crossbow bolts we got, as you can see, we have a new type of ammo, and that is the poison ammo. And you can actually tell what ammo you get if you look at the fletching of the arrow. So as you can see, the normal ammo has white fletchings, while the poison ammo has green fletchings. Now, unfortunately, this is not going to be that easy to spot if you're playing the PlayStation version because, you know, low quality and all that stuff. Or kind of hard to see with low quality because I'm playing with enhancements or with high quality. But you can always tell, but you can kind of tell because of the coloring of the fletchings, because, you know, the darkest one is poison, while the brightest one is normal. Okay, so on the path on the left, there were some Uzi clips and a shotgun. And on the right, we have a Canopic Jar. And as soon as we grab this, we're going to get a camera angle or a cinematic view of an area we haven't been to yet. But basically, it's showing you that there's a button over there that is gonna do some wonderful stuff. Okay, hang on. Give me 1 second because I want to verify something real quick. Yeah, I have a notepad on my iPad, basically telling me how many secrets should we have before moving on to the next area. But we're good on. Well, we are good to go. We are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Now, these vases over there, those darker vases that were also on the first secret we got, you cannot break them, so don't even try it. Okay, so we explored the path on the left. We explored the path straight ahead. So now let's go into the path to the right. And this path, we're going to have... the first thing we want to do is we want to get to the roof of this structure. So we're going to do a running jump to this sandhill. And this is actually the easiest way to get into the top area. And in the top, we have some shotgun shells, and I believe Uzi clips. Yes, Uzi clips. Awesome. Alright. Now, in this area, there's also some scorpions, so we want to be careful. And, oh, what the heck was that? Stupid human geometry. Okay. Alright, let's go over here. Oh my god, okay. Now, okay, let me save real quick. But yeah, in this area, there are two ways you can actually get inside this building. You can either go to the left, or you can go to the right, which you can jump through this sand dune. However, I'm going to go to the left first, because going through the left, we're actually going to get some items. Or more specifically, a item, which is some flares. And here are the flares, or glow sticks. I mean, they're basically glow sticks, but if you check the menu, yeah, they call it flares. Also, nice flare count. Okay, and as you can see, here we are in this room right here. So yes, we finally made it. So now what we have to do is we have to make it to that button that is up there. However, before we do that, we want to go to the left, and you may also see this monkey bar, and which is also on the right. However, we want to go to the left because over here we have an opening, which is going to give us access to the last secret of this level, which is the 4th secret. Yeah, the 4th secret. And this is also the last secret we're going to get in this video. So, yeah, no more secrets until the next video. But yeah, this secret has some Uzi clips and some flares. And yes, well, like I said, I know they're glow sticks, but I'm going to call it flares because, well, the game calls it flares, so I might as well call it flares, you know?
Uh-huh.
And now that I think about it, correct me, I don't know if I'm right on this, but I'm almost positive that this is the last game that has flares. Also, yeah, I did drop down here to kill this scorpion. And now we're going to move on into the other side of this area. Now, on the pit on the right, there is a med pack in the bottom, but we will get it on the way back. So yeah, now we're going to go ahead and get on top of this kind of looking sarcophagus. I have no idea what this is. Push the button. And by pressing the button, we're actually going to open that door over there. And as you can see, it releases a scorpion. Alright. And yeah, down here we have... Oh no, it's a small med pack. Yeah, down here we have a small med pack and a scorpion. And yeah, kind of tricky because they put scorpions, black scorpions in a black pit. So that's awesome. Alright, where is... There you are. Am I using a normal shot? Okay, yeah. Alright. So now let's put our hand in this hole. And what this is going to do is it's going to lower that that bowl that was down here. So now we can actually go down here, and in this area down below is where we can actually use the Canopic Jars. Now in this room there is a large med pack, and the Canopic Jar that we got goes on this receptacle on the left. So yeah, Canopic Jar 1. Now by placing the Canopic Jar, we're going to open the door that will give us access to the next area in this first part of the level of the Karnak section. Now before we move on, I'm gonna let it flow just in case. You may notice there's a opening over there, but that is actually a return path, which we will emerge from in the next video. Okay, there's nothing here, but there is stuff in the water. And we want to go to the right side of the water because there are some shotgun shells. I see 2 pickups. Alright, let me light a flare because it's kind of dark. I said light a flare. Alright, light the flare. I can't light a flare. What the heck? What the heck is going on there? I can't light a flare. That's interesting. Okay, now if you try to, yeah, as you may notice, as I'm trying to swim in this water, there is a current that is going to push me back into this area. And yeah, we want to be, and yeah, basically, we have to find a way to essentially turn off the current, you know, because I'm going to show you real quick before we go back in the water. And we're going to... Oh. Okay. I glitched up. Awesome.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I don't know if you can, I don't know if you can actually see it, but no, you cannot see it, but you may notice right there that behind that statue there is an opening, and that opening is very important because it will lead us to some items so we can actually end the level. Also, yeah, there's no items on the left side. Yeah, I don't know why I went back into the water. Okay, so let's go ahead and, yeah, now we have to backtrack to the beginning of the level, and the way to do that is through this crawl space on the left, where we placed the first Canopic Jar. And yeah, with that said, we are now gonna be moving on to the next level, which is the Great Hypostyle Hall, or I think it's called, or I think it's only the Hypostyle Hall. And yeah, basically the idea of, and yeah, basically for this first section, or for this first part of the Karnak levels, we're gonna be going back and forth through these, through the three stages that are interconnected. Because yeah, you may have noticed that there's also a receptacle, a receptacle for a second Canopic Jar, and basically our objective now is to go get that second jar. But yeah, in that little alcove, there were some flares. And right here, we have the last crawl space we have to go through. And this crawl space will put us back on the area just outside the area where we got the last secret. So where we dropped down with the Canopic Jar. So yeah, right here. So over there is the entrance to that area. And yeah, basically we are on the right side where as you would enter this area. Alright, so now we can move on into the next area, which is awesome. So let's go back down the middle path, and into the Great Hypostyle Hall we go. Now, I guess I should mention that, yeah, before you move on to the next area, you should have 29 out of 70 secrets. And yeah, like I mentioned when we got the secret, that is the last secret we're gonna get in this video. So yeah, for the next 2 areas, we're not gonna get secrets at all, which is awesome. Okay, so here we go, the Great Hypostyle Hall. Now, as soon as we emerge, there's gonna be 2 directions, and we're gonna go to the left first because in this area we can get some items and also kill some scorpions. Okay, now in this area, yeah, you may have seen it, but as soon as you get into the tile with the flares, we're gonna spawn a scorpion. And there's also a small med pack that we can get. Pick up the med pack, Lara. Thank you. Alright, and over here in the back, there is some shotgun shells. And that is all of the items in this beginning area. So yeah, very expensive, but not a lot of things to do here. So now we're going to move on to the right, and we're going to prepare a shotgun, because here we have even more scorpions. Two of them. So scary. Okay, now, as you enter this room, we have 2 directions we can go. We can either go to the left, we can either go to the right, or we can go to the left. If you want to continue on with the level, you want to go down that path. However, if you want some items, we want to go down this path. So let's go for it. Alright. Now, in this area, or in this top area, I should say, you may have noticed, but there are some Uzi clips. And also, this is a very dark area, so... Oh, we got a scorpion. We had a scorpion. But yeah, we got some Uzi clips right here. And on the other side, we got another scorpion. Oh, no. But he's dead. Alright. And yeah, right over here, we got some shotgun shells. White shot shotgun shells. Nice. Alright. And over here, let me check these corners real quick. No, we got nothing. And I'm guessing we got nothing as well. There's not even a platform, so huzzah. Alright. But right over here, we got a monkey bar. And for this part, we want to take it to the end. Well, not to the end, but to this area. And then we're going to go to either the left or the right. Because we do have some items. We have some shotgun shells. And I believe on the other side, we have flares. Glow sticks. Rave sticks, as people call them. I mean, with this type of, you know, flares, all we need is the techno beat from the Skidoo Muse track from Tomb Raider 2. You know, it's awesome. Alright, and then we're going to go up here on this little platform because at the end, there are some items. We got some Uzi clips and a small med pack. Okay, now I'm going to go back here because I'm almost positive we will spawn a scorpion if we walk down this path. But let's find out. Are we going to see a scorpion? No, but as soon as we get to this point...
AFTA!
AFTA! Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, as you saw right there in that cutscene, Von Croy finally caught up with us. And yeah, as you may, and yeah, I forgot to mention in the last video, but yeah, Von Croy is back. How did he escape from the globe back in Cambodia?
That's a good question.
Shut up. There you go.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now this part, this jump can be very finicky. So I'm gonna hang from here and I'm gonna stay over here because, yeah, this jump can be kind of scary. Because you gotta do a running jump and grab this ledge. And yeah, you want to grab the left side because trying to grab the right side can be more difficult because it's a higher, it is higher. Okay, and in this area, we have two directions we can go. We can either go over here to the right, or we have an opening there with on the left. Now you can go to the left if you want, but at the end of that pathway, there's going to be a locked door with a keyhole. However, if we check our inventory, we don't have a key. I mean, we only have the Amulet of Horus, a legendary artifact. So instead, we're just going to go over here to the right. And in this area, we do have some Uzi clips. And that is all the items in this level. Oh, wait, I saw that med pack. I saw that med pack. There we go. And yeah, that is pretty much it for the Great Hypostyle Hall, because as soon as we slide over here, we're going to be moving on to the last area, or to the third area, which is the Sacred Lake. And right here we get a camera angle of a place we haven't been to yet, but we'll be there eventually. Alright, and here we go, the Sacred Lake. Now, in this starting room, there is nothing in this area. So, yeah, we're just gonna go immediately into the lake itself. Now, as soon as we... No, don't get the pistols. Now, as soon as we go over here to the right, there's gonna be some bats, which are incredibly tiny and kind of hard to hit. And in the bat den, I thought there was some items, but I'm definitely wrong. And we also have a gator. And these gators, just like the ones in Tomb Raider 3, can be very annoying to deal with. Although, to be fair, they're more annoying to deal in the water than in the land, but whatever. Okay, and then, as we continue on, you're going to see a crawl space over there. And that crawl space can actually take you to another area in this level. However, we're going to be on that area in the next video. And we're actually going to go, and we're actually going to be on the other side of that crawl space to collect some items. Now, you can get them if you want, but I'm going to skip them just because. Okay, now, as we enter this water, there should be some gators. I'm just gonna YOLO it. Okay. So yeah, as soon as you get into the water, on the other side there's going to be some gators. And something that is really cool about this game is that gators can now transition from swimming to walking. Or from walking to swimming, which is really cool because gators in Tomb Raider 1 and 3, because yeah, there's no gators in Tomb Raider 2. Yeah, they would be either swimming or crawling, not both, and they would not transition to it, which, you know, that's actually really cool, the fact that they can just transition from land to sea, or sea to land, or water to land, or land to water, which is really cool. That's really cool attention to detail. It's pretty similar to what Lara does, which is awesome. Okay, so yeah, in this area there were 3 gators, and once they're all dead, you may notice that over here we got a locked gate, and there are some gators over there. However, yeah, the gate's closed, which means that there's no way to get over there or get to the other side. So instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around this area into this opening right here. Now, in this opening, there are some bats. So let's kill them real quick. And I'm gonna pop a flare because I think there are items in this area. Unless I'm completely wrong, in which case, gosh darn it. And doesn't seem to be the case. Okay. There's nothing. There's nothing over here. Okay, and you may also see these holes down there, but yeah, you don't want to take them because they're gonna be a misfortune for you. Instead, we're just gonna drop down the middle. And down over here, we have a very infamous gimmick in Tomb Raider 4. We have these poles.
Yeah?
Now, and here we have yet another thing they didn't teach us in the goddamn tutorial. So thanks a lot, Von Croy. But yeah, basically we got these poles, and basically these poles work kind of similar to a ladder. So what you want to do is you just want to jump and hold the action button to grab it, or you can just hold action and you will, just climb it immediately. And also glitch a bit. But basically what you want to do is you want to jump and hold, and then you want to just press up, or you can also press down to slide off, which is pretty funny. So yeah, if you want your dreams of Lara becoming a pole dancer, well, here's your dream, folks. Okay, and to get off, what you want to do is you want to put your back to the area you want to go, and then you want to press the jump button. And okay, I'm gonna go on a tangent here because this is something that throws me off every single time. But okay, I guess I should mention this real quick. As I'm recording this video, I haven't played the remaster of this game. Oh, that's not true. I actually made it to the beginning of Temple of Karnak. I played through Valley of the Kings, and then I stopped because I didn't want to continue playing because I didn't want to have this game fresh on my mind. Now that being said, I don't know. I'm going to put a text here eventually because I'm going to essentially do it the way, but I'm essentially going to do it like that. But I don't know if they actually changed the way you get off poles, because there has been countless Tomb Raider level editors where when you're on a pole and you press the jump button to go backwards, instead of going backwards, you go forward. And yeah, that is something that has thrown me, and that is something that completely throws me off every time I play Tomb Raider 4 level editors. And honestly, it's a reason that, yeah, I'm basically paranoid I'm playing a Tomb Raider 4 level editor. So, to the point that, yeah, every time I see a pole, I immediately get on it, and then I press the jump button to see if I go forward or backwards. So, I don't know if they actually changed it in the remastered, if you go forward or backwards, but I don't know. I'm almost positive that they're going to make it so that you go backwards instead of forward. But, you know, you never know with these remasters. Okay, so right here we got a chain, and this chain is going to open the gate that will allow us to get into that area with the gators, which is awesome. Which means that now we have to go back, and getting back can be kind of tricky, especially if you're trying to do it without taking damage or without dying. But there's a very easy way of doing that thing, or there's a very easy way of not dying, you know. But yeah, these poles, they're not the worst thing in this game, because truth be told, when they are present, they're not that terrible. I mean, it's not as bad as the ropes, because yeah, I've mentioned this before, but I'm gonna say it again. The ropes are the worst thing about Tomb Raider 4, period. All right, so let's go down, and then what we can do is we can actually jump to this slope right here, and then we can just grab and drop into the water. And in this water, we got a small med pack, and I believe some flares as well. Yes, we got some flares. Alright, and I think that's all in this area. That is correct. Alright, and then we just want to go through this opening. And this opening, we could have gone through here early, but yeah, this is basically a return path. And we're going to be on the left side of the entrance. Now, we do want to be careful because we still have those gators to worry about. Alright, so let's go over here and... Oh my god! Okay. That's one down. And where is the second one? Where are you? Show yourself. Oh, that's a wall. Oh, there you are. Why didn't you come out with your friend? Alright, follow me, buddy. Follow me, good sir. Allow me to kill you. There we go. Sweet. Oh my god, Lara. Okay. Alright, now in this area, down there, there's going to be a pathway, but there's actually a door that is shut. And that pathway leads back to the Temple of Karnak area. Which, you know, in other words, that's the end of the level. Now, over here, underneath this block, we have a new type of underwater lever.
Yeah?
And basically what you want to do is you want to be on one of the two sides and then just hold the action button, and you're going to pull it. Now, by pulling this lever, we're going to open this hatch down there. Now, before we go there, I'm going to climb up here to get some items on these catwalks. If I can, you know, get to them. So yeah, unlike the Tomb Raider 1, 2, and... So yeah, unlike Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3, for 4, 5, and 6, I haven't played the remasters. And I mentioned this a couple of times, that I don't want to play them that much so that, you know, I stop comparing them. So, you know, at least I will do comparisons in editing instead of, you know, just mentioning in commentary. Now that... Oh god. Now that being said, I'm not going to... One thing I will avoid like the plague is play Tomb Raider 6 Remastered at all during the marathon. I'm going to play Tomb Raider 6 Remastered. I'm not going to touch Tomb Raider 6 Remastered until I finish, until I play, record, and until I record, edit, and post Tomb Raider 6, or the original Tomb Raider 6, so that, because I want to look at that game at the original version of Angel of Darkness as it is, without having any knowledge of the improvements they added for the remasters. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on to the last area, or the last section of this video. So yeah, this 40-minute video, my god. Alright, now starting things off, we have this door. And basically to open these doors, you want to be on the middle-ish of the door, so you can actually open it. And this part can be very scary, because there's a lot of areas where you can get stuck on. And yeah, this can actually cause you to die. In fact, I would recommend you save your game before going in here. And yeah, I haven't saved at all in this video, so yeah, that's not scary. Okay, now over here we got a fork in the road. However, oh shit. Yeah, this is a big problem, getting stuck. Lara, what are you doing? Okay. But yeah, we want to go over here first, because over here we got an air pocket. But yeah, basically on that little fork, we can go up or to the right. And yeah, you want to go to the right for an air pocket and a large med pack. But yeah, all of my complaints that, you know, Lara will get stuck on stuff in the last 3 games. Yeah, get ready to hear that a lot in this game, because yeah, this game can be very buggy sometimes. Especially the original PC version, but I'll get into that when we get to the Times exclusive level. Okay, so once we get that, let's go over here and into probably the more famous area in this level. So as you can see, we got this mirror that basically will, you know, you may think, okay, so what's the point of this room? Now, if you look at the reflection, you may notice that there's actually an opening on the ceiling. However, if we look at it on the real world, yeah, there's no opening. Now, of course, if you manage to PS1 jank your way, or if you wanted to use the power of PS1 jank, you can actually see that there's this area that is glitching out. And also, you may notice that our air bubbles are actually surfacing, which means that, yeah, right here we can actually get an air pocket. All right. And in this area, if we go to the end, we are going to get some Uzi clips, I think. And I think only Uzi clips. Yes, Uzi clips. And don't worry, guys, we will use the Uzis in the next video. So stay tuned for that. And here we can get the second Canopic Jar. Now, and by claiming the Canopic Jar, we will open the door that will give us access to the end of the level. Nice. Okay, so now let's go back down. And yeah, now we just have to go back and go into the hallway. So yes, we are pretty much done with this video. Alright, let me light a flare because it's kind of dark. And yeah, with that said, let's just get out of here. And then we're going to go into this hallway. And like I mentioned, as soon as we cross this door, we're going to get sucked in. And we're going to be sent back to the Temple of Karnak area. Okay, now before we end things off, I'm going to get out of the water. So we want to go straight, and here we got an air pocket. And in here we can just pull off, and we can actually save the game. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Tomb Raider Marathon. We basically did the first half of the Temple of Karnak area, and in the next video, we're going to be finishing things off in the 3 levels. So yeah, we're basically gonna finish everything we have to do in Temple of Karnak, the Great Hypostyle Hall, and Sacred Lake. And after that, we're gonna be moving on to one of my, I could say, favorite levels in the game. Although, yeah, that level can be kind of buggy, and you'll see what I mean when we get to it. But yeah, with that said, thank you all so much for watching. Actually, let me end things out with these statistics. Yeah, I'm actually gonna start doing that. More often, or I'm gonna start doing that from here on out. But yeah, with that said, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Tomb Raider Marathon. My name is Jonathan Wolf, and next time we meet, we're gonna be moving on to we're gonna be revisiting the 3 Temple of Karnak areas and basically completing them 100%. Well, not 100%, but basically doing everything we can do in those areas. But until then, this is Jonathan Wolf, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy, everyone.